Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. McLovin in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin. Here we are again, another beautiful day. Wednesday, halfway through the week, more than halfway through the week. Hump day, if you will. Today, we're talking about how Bitcoin is a superpower. Okay? Carlos in the house. What up, Carlos? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Carlos Jaramillo. Tomorrow is the beginning of the Bitcoin Nashville conference, so I'm looking forward to that, seeing what's up with that. It'll be pretty cool. BTC Cowboy in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for BTC Cowboy. Bitcoin Armor or Bitcoin Superpower. Bitcoin Armor, Bitcoin Superpower, about the same thing, okay? Let me play this for you guys real quick. Here we go. Shifting over, kicking things off with a little clip from Sailor's 21 Rules of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin will protect you, but Bitcoin won't protect you if you don't wear the armor. You have to suit up. What does that mean? You're going to walk through fire. You're going to go through a molten volcano. Don't armor up 1% of your body. Don't cover 5% of your body. Suit up. Buy the Bitcoin, control the Bitcoin, right? Maybe this means not your keys, not your coin. Maybe this means it doesn't help to tell everybody you know about Bitcoin, but be afraid to buy it. It doesn't help to buy it if you don't control it. It doesn't help, when you put 1% of your assets into Bitcoin and the rest go to zero, and the 1% increases by a factor of 20 or 30 or 100, you'll be saying to yourself, I guess I got something, and then you'll look back and you'll think, I'd be a lot better if 99% of my body hadn't been burned. Maybe I could have suited up more than 1% of my body. Don't leave yourself with an Achilles heel.
There it is. Just like that. Boom. Get you pumped. Get you motivated for today. Suit up, baby. Suit up. Suit up with that Bitcoin. That's awesome. Oh, shoot. Sorry, it's loud. Suit up. Suit up. That's all I got to say. All right. Let's jump into the first segment of the show. We like to call this segment the Sat Strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $66,053.04. And you can buy 1,514 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So you can stack Satoshis and eventually you will accumulate a whole Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin at 66,000. You can buy it slow and steady. DCA. Okay? Get your Bitcoin armor one piece at a time. Okay? You don't have to buy the whole Bitcoin suit, but you can start adding pieces to your Bitcoin armor and layering up, adding more layers to your Bitcoin armor, right? Adding the beefy shoulder pads and the chest plate and anyway, you get the idea. Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business, wearing your Bitcoin suit. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll be able to add 15.15 more Satoshis to your Bitcoin armor that protects you from inflation, protects you from theft that is happening every day. Okay? I saw a cool joke. What was it? I hope I don't mess this up. I can't remember exactly, but something along the lines of, what's the difference between $1 today and $1 tomorrow? And I think the answer is, I forgot. I botched it, guys. It's something along the lines of like, what's the difference between $1 today and $1 tomorrow? Tomorrow you'll be able to buy less with that, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I wish I had the trombone here. I have to figure out where I have to see where I saw it. I think it might have been a meme or something. But anyway, okay, back on track. What up, Leonard? Round of applause from a live studio audience from Leonard. Thanks for tuning in. Stack as hard as possible. This will look cheap in the near future. NFA. Oh, what's NFA stand for? Man, you young kids, with your words. All right, so that is the set strength. What up, Todd? Good to see you in here. Welcome, Todd. Round of applause from a live studio audience for Todd. Wow, guys, it is Wednesday, and I don't have as many topics to talk about as I did yesterday, but I do need to cover this real quick. The donation button that was on here before, this thing, I'll put it up real quick, but don't use it. Where is it? Doesn't even show. This one. The ZBD donation thing, it's not broken, but they updated it, so it's not displaying the messages on the screen. And yesterday, Satwise made a donation, and it didn't show up on the screen, but I did get the donation. So what I'm gonna do is I changed it completely. So now the donation shortcut is Roman Castro at strike.me is a new donation. The new donation address, but it doesn't do anything fancy, so I'm gonna try to fix that first before I put that up anymore. But if you did send me something and I didn't shout you out, I apologize. I think Satwise was the only one that sent, and I think he might have double sent. So if Satwise, if you watch the replay, or if you we get in contact with each other and you need me to send back one of those donations, I know you sent a double. It might have been by mistake, so if you want me to send one of those donations back or whatever, let me know and we'll get that taken care of. Yeah, so I just want to make sure I mentioned that Satwise did an awesome donation. Thank you, Satwise. But you did end up sending it twice. So if you want me to send one of those back, let me know. Also, yeah, that's good. All right, so there's a couple things I want to cover later on, but that's more fitting for another episode, for another segment. So let's jump into the next segment of the show that we like to call. Wait, why we stack? All right, today, guys, I'm feeling a little bit inspired, like a bunch of things are happening in the world and in politics and in day to day. But it's always good to see that no matter what happens, even though the price of Bitcoin seems to go up and down and all that stuff and fluctuating and volatility, blah, 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 people try to scare you. Throughout all that volatility, the number of Satoshis that I hold in my control has not changed, okay? Or has not diminished, right? I haven't had the Bitcoin network charge me a maintenance fee, you don't have enough money in your Bitcoin account fee, a minimum balance fee, right? Every time I look at my Bitcoin balance, it's the exact number that I thought it would be. It's the exact number I thought it should be, right? Nobody's going in there and dipping on my sats, and that's pretty incredible. It's pretty amazing in this day and age, especially, right? So I just thought I would just remind you guys to do your due diligence, go through your cold storage and just open up your wallet, make sure you still have access to it, and make sure you have your seed phrase backed up, and do some practice some good Bitcoin hygiene, right? You make sure all that stuff is backed up, okay? Because you are the final authority on your stack, right, if you're holding it in self-custody. And if you didn't hear yesterday's announcement, Swan let go of a lot of their staff, a lot of employees. And so we're not sure what the situation is with them as far as like a company and the stability of how if they're going to continue in operation. They say they are, right? But a lot of companies will say they are until they're not. Okay. So if you have any Satoshis on your Swan account that you haven't moved over to self custody yet, really start to look into that. Okay. And if you need help setting that up, maybe you kind of just haven't taken care of it. If you need help setting it up, reach out to me. I'm on our Discord server. You can reach out to me through a comment. If we need to do a walkthrough on how to set that up, we can do a walkthrough on how to set that up. I have a bunch of stuff I can use now as a demo. Okay, there's a bunch of great resources, right, out there on how to set up wallets and how to transfer Bitcoin, all that good stuff. But if you got stuck or you have a specific question on how to do it with your device, with your setup, or how to even get started and do a setup so you can take your sats off of the exchange, do leave it in the comments. And if you're not watching live, if you're not watching live, you can leave it in a comment, and then I'll make a video about it, specifically helping you with your specific Bitcoin problem. Okay. Howard Williams in the house. What up, Howard? Good to see you in here. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Howard. Use River. Yeah, River's a good exchange as well. Dude, Howard, I tried using River and I never got I didn't get past the KYC. Like I'm still waiting for that to go through. So it's a little bit weird. Carlos, that's fair. Oh, well, Carlos, question. Do you guys have a fiat emergency fund if you guys need cash ASAP? What would you do? Liquidate BTC? All right, so this is a good question, Carlos. Let's talk about it real quick. But before we jump into that question, let's do the real quick short version of why we save in Bitcoin. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like going back in time and giving yourself a retroactive, continuously increasing raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. Bam. That's a short and sweet one. Okay. Now let's jump into this question. Carlos has a question. He says, do you guys have a fiat emergency fund? If yes, if you guys need cash ASAP, what do you do? Liquidate BTC? Question mark? Okay, that's a good question. It's a valid question. So I'm just gonna tell you my emergency fund situation. I don't hold an emergency fund because holding any cash is going to it is going to get debased, right? So I only hold as much cash as I feel comfortable with losing value on, right? And that is nothing. maybe $20 in my wallet. I don't know, right? But I have credit cards, right? I pay off my credit cards when I use them, right? But I do have, but that gives me points for other stuff, right? Like I'll use my card for gas and for that kind of stuff, and for food. My day to day, I use my credit card. And then I pay it off, right? Because it doesn't require me to hold cash, like fiat, and I'm earning points, even if it's something small, like however many points per dollar you spend, or for $100 you spend, it's still money it's still credit towards something that I'm gonna buy anyway that I don't have to spend real money on. Okay, so that's why I do that. I spend on the credit cards, pay them off at the end of each month, right? When I get paid, and then I keep my my liquid funds or whatever in Bitcoin, right? Because you don't time Bitcoin, you spend time in Bitcoin, right? So yeah, and if there's ever a medical emergency, like recently I broke my hand, right? I was able to the cost of my broken hand, it wasn't like in the thousands of dollars, right? But it was an unforeseen expenditure, right? And for the most part, I can cover most things like that on a card, or say for example my car broke down. I need new tires, right? That's pretty expensive. Like for my truck, it probably ended up being like, I don't know, like $2,000 for tires, right? Still, even then, I wouldn't consider that an emergency. I would just kind of just put it on a credit card and have enough income to cover that because I'm just holding Bitcoin the whole time, right? Now, if it was something bigger, would I put it on a credit card? Probably in the moment to get it paid. If it was like that we're gonna go emergency. You need that money. You need to pay that ASAP for whatever reason. Then I would pay it with a card, and then if I needed to liquidate some Bitcoin, even though it would like hurt my soul, to cover that cost before the debt is due, I would. But then I was first I would say, okay, well, what's the interest rate on this new debt that I used to pay for the emergency thing? Is the interest rate on that debt like less than like 5%, right? 7% maybe? Would it make more sense to just pay the minimum on that, hold that balance a little bit, and stack harder? Right? We kind of went over that before. But anyway, taking it all the way back, do I hold an emergency fund in cash? Absolutely not. That's my decision. That's my choice. You can decide to do whatever you want to do based on your situation, right? But in my situation, most of the emergencies that come across wouldn't be something that's more than I can handle with a credit card temporarily, right? And for the most part, like I'm employed, and our situation is pretty stable for now, right? To where my emergency fund is basically in Bitcoin, right? Basically anything that would hold as an emergency fund, I'd basically have it in Bitcoin, because it just makes more sense that way, right? Any amount of value that you're holding in fiat is going to get debased, even if it's just for a month or two. All right, let me read through some of these comments. I know it's kind of a weird one, but let's see. All right. I don't like a big pile of melting ice cubes, to be very honest. And I really don't trust banks. Yeah, so McLovin's kind of like on the same page there. Carlos says, that's fair. I trust myself, and I like using someone else's money if necessary. Carlos says, my credit card, keep my minimum. Yeah, exactly. So McLovin, we're on the same page. Especially when the interest rate of a credit card is lower than, if it's lower than the profits you're making on Bitcoin, you're basically coming out on top. So Howard says, you might have to call them. Oh, okay. KYC is done. I'd send them a picture of holding. Yeah, exactly. I did that too, and it just didn't go through. So I'll see if I can call them. Thanks, Howard. Another point: you're better protected from fraud using a credit card. For most purchases, my debit card rarely comes out of my wallet. Okay, that's a good point too. I really like the points, guys. I must admit, I use my card that gives me the most points for specific things, because then it allows me to pay for other things that I'm going to use anyway, right? So like, let's say I have a bunch of points on my card, and I need to buy detergent or stuff that I use a lot. Like I tape my fingers for jiu-jitsu, right? I'm always buying tape for my fingers. So even if it covers the cost of the tape, right? Or I can convert some of those credits to go towards I can convert some of those credits to go towards, I guess, my balance, and it helped me pay things off even better, because now I'm not even getting any more things. I'm actually using the extra credits or the points to pay off some of my debt, which is pretty cool. I mean, you're probably losing some along the way, or else I wouldn't do it. But still, it's better than the cashback rewards is good too. Yeah, exactly. So some of those cashback rewards, you could say, okay, you don't take the actual cash, you just put that towards your balance, and it takes off a little bit of the balance. So that's kind of good. So you that's if you can handle paying them off like at the end of each month, so that way you're not getting actually interest on it, right? But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good question, Carlos. It's a good question. How does the credit card system work in Ecuador? Do they offer credit cards? And if so, what are the interest rates like? I mean, it's pretty much the same as using dollars nowadays in Ecuador, right? So is the financial system pretty similar? Like, do a lot of people use credit cards or no? That's kind of here in the U.S., it seems like everybody's using cards. So it's wild. All right, cool. So great question, good discussion. I love the chat coming through, and this is kind of part of the fun of doing this show, is you never know what questions are going to pop up, and it's good. We can all learn from each other. Okay, so let's jump into the next segment of the show that we like to call Stack Recap, because we don't only talk about stacking sats here. We stack every Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. There we go. All right, so far for the whole lifespan of the show, we're up 57%. We're holding 0.259031581 Bitcoin. And let's see, in 2024, we're up about 18% just for the year. Today, the price of Bitcoin is above our average buy price of $59,762 for the year. So today, we'll be stacking a $20 buy. Okay. Let's see what else we have over here. This is, oh yeah, the status of our operation flipping sats. Nothing else has sold. I did go through all of my OfferUp listings and lowered the price on everything about $5. So hopefully that motivates people to buy them. I have another pair of gloves. I have a bunch of other stuff listed. I'll put it up here as it sells, so you guys know what we flipped for sats this week if we do end up flipping something for sats. All right. Cool. All right. Carlos says it's hard to apply. It's hard to apply for one. Interest rate's 19%. I could apply for an Amex with the deposit as guaranteed, but then the car would have to go from the it doesn't make sense to do it that way. Doesn't make sense. You're pretty much putting money into the card for them to hold, and they're probably going to charge you fees for the privilege of them giving you a card. So Bitcoin as an emergency fund just makes more sense because you know it takes what would it take me? How long on average would it take you guys to liquidate some of your Bitcoin? Like it would take transferring your Bitcoin to an exchange, right? And that transfer would probably take, I don't know, if you don't want to pay low fees, it could take up to we'll say half a day if you want to do the lowest fees possible, right? Let's say you do high fees and it costs you like $5 or $10 to transfer some money to an exchange. It gets there in 20 minutes, right? Maybe the exchange says, okay, we gotta have at least 5 or 6 verifications before we let you withdraw this money. And so you wait your 60 minutes to 2 hours, right? We'll say 12 verifications, 2 hours, 10 minutes each. 10 minutes each block. Your transaction is verified for 12 blocks. That's 2 hours. And then your exchange is good to go with you making the withdrawal to your bank. So then you make the withdrawal to your bank, and then the delay might come between your bank and the exchange agreeing to when the funds get released, right? So let's say a max, it could take up to like a week on a bad day, right? But before it starts to show up in your account, from when you sold your Bitcoin to when you move it to an exchange, and then from the exchange to your linked bank account, it could be like a week, right? Most things, I think most things can be paid. Most things can be delayed about a week. I don't know what kind of emergency would require you to pay like instant cash unless if somebody's being held hostage, because geez, I don't know, right? It's crazy. But yeah, it's a good topic to talk about. All right. So we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, and we know where we're going to buy it. We're going to buy it over on Strike. So let's get this purchase done, and then we're going to talk about the BitAxe mining device that just hit a block. Was it today or yesterday? It's pretty awesome though. Okay, so we're talking about lottery mine. We'll check. I don't know if it was mining in a pool or not, but still, it hit a block. So that's pretty incredible. Let's jump into the final segment of the show and do what we need to do. It's time to add to our Bitcoin armor and stack some sats. All right, there we go. We're adding to the Bitcoin armor. Choo. Boom. Was it dipping? Is Bitcoin dipping right now? Oh yeah. Gonna get a juicy bite right now. A juicy buy-in. Okay. I opened up the Strike app. We go buy $20 worth of Bitcoin right now on the Stack Sats show. There we go. We're stacking. Cut the music and start the drum roll. Confirm. And just like that, we've stacked some more sats, made it rain, made it rain Satoshis. And when we stack, we chill. Let's update the spreadsheet with today's buy, and then we're going to talk about this BitAxe block that was mined. I don't know if it was solo mined or not, but it was amazing. Here we go. Where am I? Browser. There it is. All right. I'm going to do today's date, 7/24/24. We bought at, oh yeah, $65,853.33. We bought $20 worth of Bitcoin. And it gave us 0.000. Oh, 30,000 Satoshis. Okay. 30,082 Satoshis. Okay. I copy this here. Copy this here. All right. Yep. All right. Take this. Put it onto our full spreadsheet. Now we'll catch up on the chat right after this, guys. I'm can't do more than two things at once, I guess. We're now at 0.259332401 Bitcoin for the show. All right. Jump into this. Okay. It's hard to apply. Okay, I got it. Carlos. In other news, okay, Howard says, I try to keep 0.1 Bitcoin as my emergency fund, and every 1 million sats after that I send to cloud storage. Oh, I see what you're saying. Cool. So you keep 0.1 on the exchange. That way it's that way you can liquidate faster. You know, I guess that makes sense. Carlos, that's actually a really good solid plan. What's Carlos' solid plan? What up, J-Dub in the house? Round of applause from the live studio audience. Right, yeah, that's good. So, J-Dub, if you want to jump into the conversation, the question was, do you keep an emergency fund in cash, or do you go all into Bitcoin? I personally keep my emergency fund in Bitcoin. J-Dub says, I'm in Nashville for the... Oh, dang, dude. Let's go. No cash. What's that? Oh, nice. J-Dub, do you That's funny. That's so good. All right, there it is. J-Dub himself. Yeah, I think most people don't. I think most people realize that it's not a good way to do it. But we're gonna talk about the BitX miner, right? Let's see. BitX miner wins block. BitX single ASIC solo miner. Oh. No, where is it? There you go. Maybe this one? Nope. It's gotta be recent, right? It happened today or yesterday. A solo Bitcoin miner will hit one. Oh. I think they're still trying to verify it. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Maybe it's on X. Bitminer. I'm looking for the article. Yeah, there it is. Bitcoin news. Okay, let's put it on the screen, and we'll kind of learn about it together. All right. Bitcoin block was found for the first time by a 500 gigahertz. 500 gigahertz. That's not even. That's not a lot. 500 gigahertz BitX. Bitcoin mining is decentralized. That's cool. That's crazy. How But I want to know if it was found in a pool or solo mining. See, it appears that BitX was solved its first Bitcoin block on. Okay, CK pool dev. Solo. Okay, so what's solo mining? Wow. Congratulations to the lucky BitXer. You made open source Bitcoin mining hardware history. That's awesome. That's really cool. Dang, dude. Think about that. It's wild. We find the block. There it is. Somebody put the block. Hey, solo mining. That's awesome. That's cool. That's super cool. All right, so let's see what they got. And the BitAxe hasn't been out that long, so he hasn't been mining that long. What are the odds, dude? With 500 gigahertz. Let's see. Solo mining odds. What is it called? This one. Solo chance. Giga hash. 500. This guy's freaking lucky, dude. 500 giga hash. He was able to get. Your chances per block are 1 in 1,000, million, billion, right? Chances per day. Time estimated to hit a block with 500 gigahash is 21,453 years, and this guy hit it. That's how incredible this is, right? So he hit a block where the odds are. The odds predict that it will take him 21,000 years to hit a block with this little hash rate, right? 500 gigahertz, right? There's it. Yep, 500 gigahertz. Oh, gigahash. Sorry, gigahash. 500 gigahash per second. This guy hit it. How freaking lucky is that? So lucky. Okay, so he got, let's see, subsidies and the fees. Look at that. He made a cool $211,918. Damn. So good. Dang. Well, I guess they just have to wait another 21,000 years. Yeah, that's super lucky, dude. That's like, yeah. Dang, dude. That's so awesome. But yeah, there it is. There it is. It is pretty historic. Just swooped right in and took that reward. That's awesome. Gee. Anyway, cool stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know. Everything is looking good. Everything is looking bright and orange future. I'm gonna leave you guys with a little quick story from my class on Monday. I went to class on Monday. I went to the advanced level class for jiu-jitsu. Now that I'm a blue belt. Just kidding. And you know, you have this idea of what it would be like to roll with a black belt, right? Like I've never gone against a black belt. And the instructor of the class that I was taking, like he knows I'm new. He knows I just got my new belt. He knows I just got my belt. And like I'm starting to do his class now. So like he asked me if I wanted to roll, like during the rolling portion of the show, of the training. And I was like, oh, super excited. You know, that's great because the guy's like, he's like a freaking legend in the sport, and like he's super skilled and just amazing, right? And so we're rolling whatever or doing our moves, and like I'm just amazed by like how fluid he is and how like precise he is with his moves. And like in jiu-jitsu, you want to have grips. That's how you control your opponent, right? So I have like a grip of his collar, you know, I have a grip of his sleeve, or a grip of whatever grip I could get, right? And you hold on for dear life because you want to use that to muscle them into doing moves or whatever, right? And it was so crazy to experience this. Like whenever I got a hold of like his collar, for example, right? And I just like will start to use it to try and make a move. He would address that grip right away in a way that like just seemed like magic to me, right? I have a grip of his collar. I'm yanking on his collar, and like he would like I don't know exactly how he's doing it, but like he'd put a little resistance against my grip, and to make a little tension on my hand, and then he would kind of like just like a little shoulder shift, or he'd like smack my hand with his hand somehow, like just like bump it, and like my grip would just fly off. And I was like, wow, that's weird, right? And it wasn't like a one-time thing. It wasn't like oh, that was weird. It was like whenever I had grips that were threatening him in any way, he would address the grip and just kind of like do something, either like an adjustment with his body, or like a tap with his hand, or just like a push with his hand. It wasn't like he's holding on to, like when I go against somebody and we're grip fighting, I'm gripping their collar and they're using both hands and they're pulling back to get my grip to break off, right? And same thing when I have somebody gripping my collar, I'll grab their sleeve with both hands and I'll push off and pull my body back to break off the grip, right? The way he was doing it was so weird. It was like mind control, dude. I don't even know how else to describe it. It was so incredibly effective. Like no energy, and we just like very high efficiency. We just kind of like have a grip. He would like put a little bit of tension on my grip by pulling back, and then he'd like just be like boom, and my wrist would pop off, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Anyway, he did it to me like a bunch of times. It did it to me a bunch of times, McLovin, where if I would have been watching my own match, or I wouldn't even call it a match, so he was just kind of toying with me. If I would have been watching that session, I would have been like, Roman's pretending he's losing his grip, right? And it reminds me of those Aikido knockoff videos where the guy's like standing in the middle of the thing and there's like 20 guys and they're all rushing him and he's just like grabbing the wrist and like flipping him, and then he grabs that guy's by the ear and he throws him over the shoulder, and he grabs that guy by the foot and he just flips him over, right? I was like, man, I felt like one of those guys. Anyway, I just want to share that story. No, it felt like it was staged, dude. But I should have been in on it, you know. I should have been in on it. Because he did it to me like he must have done it to me like at least, I'm not kidding you, like at least 12, 13 times. Or like I thought I was like had some grips and I was about to kind of chunk on him, and then as soon as I feel like I'm pulling on him, he's like, boop, my hand pops off. I'm like, what the? And then boop, my hand pops off. I'm like, whoa. So it was pretty fun. It was cool to experience that because it opens my eyes to show me that I don't know anything. I don't know anything yet. Okay. And this blue belt is just the beginning of the road, right? It's just the beginning of the road, but it also gives me it also gives me something to aspire to, right? It gives me something to be inspired by and pursue, right? On my journey, on my jiu-jitsu journey, right? But anyways, I thought I would share that with you guys to know that as much as you think you know, there's always more to be learned, and that goes for Bitcoin as well. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode of the Stack Sats Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys.